Hey, hello. It is Tammy with Cheers to Creativity. So we're going to start with a piece of pine. This is just, it was actually a scrap piece I found out in the garage, and it is 9 1/4 by, I've measured it, 11 inches. So just to start with, all I'm going to do is base coat this color. I'm just going to get just one edge that was a little rough. Make sure I get all of this on here. I like to just use a sanding sponge or pad and just to go over just real lightly. I'm not distressing it. I'm just kind of knocking down any edges. Okay. Lay this down rather randomly. Now this is the color I used. It was called sand gray, and I'm going to need a little bit of that. And I'm going to add a little white pearl. So I should have a lighter color and I should have a little bit of a shimmer. I'm just going to use the back of a paintbrush to mix those colors together. I'm going to swirl this around. And I think we're good. And I'm going to be using a stencil that I've had for a very long time. The one I'm going to use Grow and Grace. Stick it down a couple places. And we're going to go ahead and swirl in our letters. So I'm going to lift this up. Grow and Grace. I have some rope. Okay. And I'm going to cut this rope and we're going to attach it just about there on this piece. So I'm going to do one here. Okay, that one's in. And they're simply going to hang with some regular little clothespins. So let's see. I have a little one I can add of my grandson. Let's go with Ryan. We'll put Ryan over here. And I have this sweet one of Miss Hannah with Grandma. This is at a soccer game. You can make this any size and any way you wanted. And there you have just a very simple way to add a little decor and add the pictures. We're going to do this on an old rusty saw. So I cleaned it with soap and water. I cleaned it with some other stuff. I did do a quick sanding on it. This was really pretty rusty. I am going to take some rubbing alcohol, and you can see it's still got a little residue on it, but it's not terrible. I'm going to follow this up. And now the antiques curves a little bit, and that's actually a little bit to our advantage. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to first just mark the top of a few of these letters. I'm going to find where I kind of made those marks. Okay, the saw is metal, and many times I would just use an enamel paint. I'm just going to use our regular paint tonight because I know I'm going to seal this afterwards. The ivory, the buttermilk color, it's very neutral. I think it looks pretty good. Pretty good. Okay, so we have antiques. We're going to see if we can find a couple pieces off of the transfers that might make sense. Okay, so I'm going to peel this off. As always, we do this slowly, and if there's any part that are kind of sticky, we lay it back down, okay? And so far, I'm not having anything that's feeling very sticky. It's all coming off pretty nicely. Okay? I'm going to lose just a tiny touch here. I'm just going to kind of wrap those around, okay? A little pull here, so we're going to skip down, finish that. And let's see, what do you think? Antiques with all the little embellishments on there. And this again, we used the, the vintage heirloom treasure transfers and the antique vintage sign set. But I'm going to grab just one of the little 6x6 wood panels. I'm going to grab just a brush. I'm going to pick up a little bit of a pink. That's not pink. This is wild berry, so we can do a little bit of that. And here, again, wipe that off first, and then just kind of blend it in. And if I ever get too much paint, I can always go back with the ivory and blend it. Do a little more yellow, don't you? I seem to have lost my blue, so we're going to add a little more blue. I just want some fun, almost pickling colors in here. So we've just got these streaks of color in our background. And I'm going to give this a quick blow dry. Just knock it down. But can you see we just got these streaks of color in our background? It's kind of fun, something a little different. And I hadn't decided which one I was going to use. I haven't done that. I haven't done any of this. Fresh as the daisy. No, I think I'm going with fresh cut flowers. I'm going to use that pink that we used in the background. I'm going to pick it up, offload it, and that's going to be my flower color. Doesn't have any leaves on, so we just have the flowers. So we need to do something to make it a little more interesting. So I'm going to pick up a little more of that same color. I'm offloading it. And I'm going to try to make it just a little darker right toward that center and right at the very base of all my little petals. Then I'm going to really, really scrub that off on my paper towel, get as much of it out as possible. I'm going to pick up a tiny bit of white, and it's a dirty brush. I'm picking up the white, I'm offloading it, and I'm going to pull this lighter color in from the edges. And then we have fresh cut flowers, 25 cents, and I'm going to use a deeper green. This is Hauser Green Dark. 25 cents in the solid green. The top of these, pretty good. I'm going to just really kind of scrub that off the best I can and pick up some of the yellow, so I will have a much lighter green, more of a spring green on the bottom part of this, and blend it up. I could have easily just picked out another green up too, but I have the yellow, so why not just make a color? Okay. And then let's lift that off. You get a little extra detail in our words with doing the blending on the flowers. And then you can see on that little flower, we get just a tiny bit of difference in the petal. And then just those colors in the background turned out super sweet. All right. Thanks for sticking with me on our Friday evening. And this was our little bonus project because I didn't know how much time I was going to have. And that one did come from the set that is the wildflower seeds. Is that what it was called? I think so, yes. And I'm going to show you the other projects we did super quick. And then we're going to find our winners. So I used an antique saw, and we just wrote the word antiques, and we added some antique items to it. And we started off doing a very subtle background using the Florida lace stencil, using the same color, but just lightening up a little bit and adding a tiny bit of shimmer to it. And I just did Growing Grace. The idea that we added the rope, screwed it on there, and we could have this be a little thing to, it would be a cute little baby gift that somebody could hang as the babies are growing. Cute, cute, cute. Thanks so much. Have a great evening, and happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there. Cheers.